everybody, it's Liz with Liz Art Finds. I'm here today with another haul video. I am a part-time reseller on Niknax.net and over on eBay a little bit. So we'll do really quick what sold before we get into this week's haul. This week's haul was one day of thrifting at 4 different places, and we'll show you what we got. But before I get into that, just really quick what sold. I had my trinket box and trinket tray sale over on Niknax last Sunday. As I figured, those are not high value items, so I wasn't expecting a huge profit. My goal was $50 for the sale, and my profit was close to double that. So I had $97.74. So I sold, I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm not going to show you any of them because it's 15 items. But basically, I sold 15 trinket boxes and dishes. The things that seemed to be most valuable, just as an FYI, was the enamel on copper. So all of my enamel pieces had like multiple people vying for them. So that was really cool. Everything else sold at basically what I was asking for, which I'm happy about. So again, 15 sales. So my total in sales was $160. My total cost of goods was $38.42. With all of the fees and everything else, my profit was $97.74. And that was an hour, an hour sale. So can't complain about that. And we moved along, a few pieces. So that's really good. Also this week on Niknax, I sold this little cold cast stone cat. It wasn't in the best condition, and it was one that I probably should have left at the store. I picked it up for $2.99 during the time where I was collecting cats for my cat show. And it sold, I got an offer for $5. I think I had it listed at $9, and I took the $5 offer to move it along. My profit was $1.02. So probably should have left that. Over on eBay, I sold this rooster candy mold. And this is a good one. I paid $1.99 for it, and I took a best offer of $25 on this. And so my profit after fees on that one was $20.73. So not a bad week. I didn't add it all together, but let's see, 97 and 20. So like 117 or so plus $1. So $118 in profits for the week. It's not terrible. All right, let's move into this week. So again, one day, and this was a fun day because I drove up to Maryland and I went to the Unique up in Wheaton, Maryland. Then I popped into a thrift store in Rockville. Then I went down to the Savers. Nope, I did not. I went to the Unique in Falls Church on the way home. And then I popped into another thrift store in Virginia. So I've got 4 places, and I'll show you what I found. So it's always fun going up to Maryland because it's a very rich neighborhood, at least the Rockville, Bethesda kind of area, and you can find some crazy stuff. So a couple things, these are not too crazy. I found another side and stricker bowl. I love these. I just think the design is so cool, and it's in really good shape. I paid $2.79 for it. It's worth $12 to $18. The side and stricker doesn't sell for a ton, but this pattern seems to do better than some of the others. So it's a nice little bowl. So happy about that for $2.79. Then I found another Tiki Farm tiki mug. So we talked about these a couple weeks ago when I found smaller ones. I found a set of 4 that were smaller than this. So this is a large one. This is 2005 Tiki Farm, made by Nietveld. I can't really read it very well here. There's a signature across here at Tiki Farm. And this is 2005, like I was saying. The set of 4 that I found was from 2003. So just barely vintage on this guy. I believe he's called Tikinator is the official name for this guy, after like the Terminator. So anywho, he sells pretty well. Excuse me, I paid $3.19. The prices are kind of all over the place. They have a little Tikinator shot glass that sold for $18. I'm going to call it 12 to 24 plus. Some of them were in the low end, some of them were in the crazy high end, but you know, again, for a couple bucks, it was $3.19, but I should easily get 13, probably closer to 20 something. If I put this on eBay, I'll list it in the 20s and take offers and see what happens. So there's that guy. Then I picked up a baggie, and I think my streak lately has not been good with baggies. Excuse me. This was another one that was a disappointment. But you know, you can't see. So here's the thing I picked up that I was really excited about, right? There's this Artisani Rinconada cat. And you know, through the baggie, he looked fabulous. But once I got him out of the baggie, he's got a little chip. So this particular one, when he's not chipped, only sells 8 to 12. Like, it's not a huge seller. They had another one in this shape where they did a prototype where it was all black. And that one has some value. I think it was in the 30s or something. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yeah, $32.49 for one that was all black like this. So this particular shape. Some of the other shapes do better. You just really need to look them up. But again, if he had been in perfect condition, he'd be 8 to 12. With the little chip out of his toe, I don't know if anybody's going to want him. I'm going to do a critters, like all creatures great and small show, like I've said, sometime later this summer or early fall, and he will be in my critter show. And we'll see if anybody wants him. I mean, basically I paid less than $1 for him because there were 4 things in the baggie. So, you know, probably what, 70 something cents for each of them. I paid $3.19 for the baggie. So, you know, I mean, I'll show you the rest of the things and the rest of the disappointment. So we haven't talked about this before, and we should talk about this. So this is something called the Cat's Meow. There are a bunch of wooden blocks, and they're signed. Now this one is from 1995, and it says 1995, the Cat's Meow. And they're wooden blocks, and they're usually painted with buildings, like historical buildings, and they all have like a cat in the window or on the doorstep or somewhere in the image. And I became aware of these on the Homeschooling Pickers page. She picked up a bunch of them and talked about them. This one is in bad condition. Like, it's got all kinds of chipping along the edges. The bottom has like a water, like it's swollen a little bit, like somebody put it in water. It's also got chipping along the edge. This is in terrible condition. I don't think it's saleable, but it's educational. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. So there's not really a lot more to say, but this one was the Dancing Cat. So I don't know if that's the name of a tall ship or if this was done during when tall ships were a thing. Different cities have different tall ships shows or exhibitions, or that's not the right word, but like where all the regattas, the tall ships come in and people can check them out and go on board some of them and whatnot. They came to Newport way back when I was younger, and I think we went to see them. So anyway, cat, tall ship. But the thing that I wanted to show you is the Cat's Meow. Some of them, the rare ones, if they're in good condition, sell for decent money. So it's worth looking them up if you see them. I did see some baggies that had them a while back, and I left them because when I had searched on them, they were only like $6 to $8 each. Now, it was a baggie that had 4 of them. Would it have been worth it for me to flip? Yes, it would have, but I just chose to not. So if you see them, you know, 50 cents, $1, you see them for not expensive, and they happen to be in good condition, and they, you know, you can do a quick lens search and see if that particular one is selling well, then it might be worth picking it up. So again, called the Cat's Meow. The other 2 things that were in the baggie, there's a little hand-painted lighthouse ornament. Now this one might do okay. It's got a signature on it. It says Maine. So that may be a problem, but it's just a little wooden ornament that's hand painted and signed. So maybe closer to Christmas, someone might be interested in this for a couple bucks. And again, you know, my attribution into it is 75 cents or so, 70 something cents. And then there was this little bird porcelain. It's got a similar mark or seal to the little blue glass thing that we found a while back, like a mouse looking thing. This says United States Commemorative Fine Art Gallery, Porcelain Bird Specimen 0042 made in China. I haven't found this exact one. It is porcelain. It's got a matte finish. And gosh, I don't know. You know, I said 5 to 8 on this guy. There were some that were similar that were closer to $9.99. It wasn't the same bird, different birds, but similar type of marking. So anyway, you know, was the baggie a good pickup? I don't know. For $3.19, I mean, I might get 12 out of it, maybe. Total 10, 12. You know, not the best baggie. But let's move on. The next couple of things I picked up were kind of cool. Okay, really cool. This is a set of metal flowers, and they're amazing. Now they're taped together, and I'm not going to untape them, and I'm not going to polish them. They've got a nice patina on them. I'm sure they are silver, silver plate, not silver. So I think they will polish up very nicely. There are 2 lilies. There are 2, let's see, one's a rose and a tulip, I guess. I think that's a rose. I think that's a tulip. Don't quote me on it. And this would be another tulip. And then there's just like a daisy type flower here. Oh, wait, there's 2 roses too. Alrighty. So anyway, 7 flowers. Really pretty. I paid for the set $5.59. I can't find these exact things, but I found like individual flowers being sold in the 8 to 15 range. Let's just assume $8 each, and there's 7 of these, so that's 56. And I think that's probably a good amount. Like, I think that's a good guess. And I actually had put these into one of the vases that I had to see what it looked like, and it looked really cool. So I think these would do well. You know, metal is in right now, so we'll see. I haven't decided where I'm selling them or how I'm selling them. If I sell them all together, which I probably will, I probably would start them around 65 and take offers on that, because I think they're probably worth, you know, 48 to 56 on the low end, maybe more. You know, I mean, this may sell really quick at that price, so I just don't know. But I thought they were super cool, so I picked them up. And then the last thing I got there at that particular stop, and this is a good one, okay? This is one you don't want to sleep on if you see. So there were a ton of people in the store, and I decided to go over to the purse section because I've been having a little bit of luck in purses lately. I still need to list all my purses, but this guy, you know, everybody looks for Coach. And they take the obvious things and then they leave the things that are a little less obvious. And I say that because this past week, which you'll see next week, I found a Patricia Nash purse. And again, super crowded store. It was in excellent condition, really good condition. It's got a couple of marks on the front. But people just passed it by because they don't know what it is, because it's not Coach or one of the other brands that they're looking for. So in that vein, I saw this, okay? Now, is it in the best condition? No, it is not. It is old. It is from 1996, okay? Now, the bottom is in excellent condition, okay? The thing that made me stop and look is that it was leather, okay? So it's very clearly leather. And it turns out it's a very expensive brand. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Now, again, condition. So the leather here is definitely not in the best condition. Now, I don't know, like, it's not actually cracking. And it may just be that that was the original look of the leather, because thinner leathers sometimes can have some interesting grains going on. I don't know if I told you guys back in the day, before my tie-dye business, like way back, I did leathercraft. I've done crazy things in my life, but like the kind where you stamp and you tool, but like actually create pictures and things like that. So I, mostly during my grad school days, I did a lot of leather work. So I know a little bit about leather. So anyway, I recognize this as leather. And I looked inside and I saw the tag, which at the time I didn't know anything about. Okay, we'll show you that one. But the thing that jumped out at me, it says leaf leather, and then it says made in USA. So leather is going to increase the price. Made in USA is good price, right? So I picked it up. I paid $6.39 for it. Now we're going to learn a little bit about, sorry, I got it backwards, about this artist. Now I don't know much about the person, but there are a few paragraphs that were on a gallery website that I'm going to read to you because it's really cool stuff. So the artist is C.L. Whiting, W-H-I-T-I-N-G, and it says, C.L. Whiting's leaf leather is sought out by museums, worn by celebrities, carried in the world's finest galleries, and collected by men and women across the globe. Leaf leather's story began more than 25 years ago, in upstate New York. Okay, so this is from a New York artist, where C.L. developed a love for nature and a passion for detail. While working part-time at a small leather shop and studying art at a New York university, the opportunity arose for her to become an apprentice under an Italian engraver who was retiring and hoped to pass along his technique for making finely detailed tools to someone who would appreciate it. So after years of study, C.L. began to create her own process. By combining her drawing skills with the specialized engraving skills she learned in apprenticeship in Italy, and devoting countless hours to her passion for detail, C.L. discovered the ability to produce tools in the shapes of leaves with uncanny microscopic detail. Okay, so we'll come in and take a look at this. All right. It's pretty impressive. And it's not just like, her stuff isn't just this design, like there's so many different leaves and so many different patterns. So then it says she withdrew from university and over the next 2 years, or over the next 2 decades, developed more than 5,000 tools in myriad intricate leaf patterns. Only with time, the highest quality materials and utmost personal attention to detail are the handbags and accessories designed by C.L. Whiting released for sale. Each piece a unique work of art, tooled like an artist painting a picture, and no two ever alike. Now, they are still making them. She has hired people and has trained them to help her. So it's not just her sitting in a place making things. You can order them, and what's interesting is you choose the style of bag. You can specify a leaf if there's a specific leaf you like, but for the most part, it's like you're gonna get what you're gonna get, but they make them custom to order. So you go to the website, you pick a style, and you order the bag. The prices are $250 to $400 new. Now this is a similar but different bag, right? Similar to what I have here. It doesn't have the seam down the center. It's a little bit different. It's a little more simple. And this one goes for brand new $282. And they go all the way up into the 400s. So obviously this one is not new. This one I believe is from the 90s, from the 1990s. It had a copyright on it that said 1996. I think the back of it, copyright leaf leather 1995. So it's, you know, it's older, and you know, it's got some wear. Is it worth $282? No, it is not. However, it's worth at least $35 to $65. What did I write down here for value? I wrote down $32 to $65, okay? But there's no, like, the handle itself is in really good condition. I mean, it's got a little stretching, right? But the leather itself is in fabulous condition. The stitching is in fabulous condition. And like I said, I think this is age. I'm gonna oil this up and just make sure that it's not like cracking and stuff. I don't think it is. I've already done a little polishing on this side. So, I mean, it's good. It's good. And definitely worth the $6.39 that I paid for it. So, you know, fun little educational thing. I'm learning more about different purses, especially the quality stuff. And when I see them, I'm going to pick them up and try to educate myself a little more. Because, you know, I bought Stone Mountain in the past and they've done well for me, but they don't sell fast. And then I've seen a lot of the other resellers putting back Stone Mountain. So I've kind of veered away from that and trying to see what else is out there. Like in the last bonus video, I had that fossil. And like I said, next week we'll look at a Patricia Nash and learn a little bit about that. So let's move on. I went to the next place, and this one was in the super high-end area. And I found only 2 things, but I'm excited about both. And I paid very little. So this is a Talavera Moon, and it's a big one, so it's a wall hanging. Really nice one, no issues, excellent condition. It says Mexico, lead-free, actually, this way, lead-free Mexico. So yeah, there's this guy. So I paid $3.99 for it. They sell in the 24 to 32 range. This size, and the sell-through is good. Like, people love this. So I am probably gonna do, I think I said like a Mexican South American pottery, or possibly the native and Central and South American together. I don't know yet. Sometime probably in the fall. But gonna hold on to that for that. Unless I get on a eBay listing spree, and we'll see, maybe I would list that. But I got so many other things that I gotta list first. All right, so the other piece is amazing. This is going in my glass show. All right, it is a stained glass window, leaded, with a 3D butterfly. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? I think you can see that. It's amazing. So it's got, like, this is space here. Like, it's not like completely filled in. It's beautiful design, very abstract, and I love that 3D butterfly. I've never quite seen anything like that. So it's got the 2 holes for hanging soldered on. There's no signatures on it that I can see, but it's an absolutely beautiful piece. I paid $3.99 for it. Obviously, there's nothing exactly like it on the internet, but there's some things that are similar but different. And prices all over the place, from 25 up, I wrote 45 plus because there's things that go up into the hundreds for stained glass. So this one will be in my show for sure. Glass Gallery on Niknax.net. My spot is July 20th, which is a Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and I will have the most amazing glass. I've been saving the good glass, so I consider this good glass, and this will be in that show. So really excited about that. Again, I only paid $3.99 for it, and we'll see. Hopefully people love it, and we'll see what it sells for. So then I popped over to the Savers in Falls Church. I picked up a couple shirts. They're for me. Well, one of them is for me for sure. This is a Gap tie-dye. Now I could sell this. I picked it up for $3.19. They sell between 12 and 15, right? So I could sell this, but it's so me. We're gonna keep it. So I picked that up for me. The other one I picked up, I was looking in my size because I wanted to get some more summer clothes. I'm probably not gonna keep this because it's not the best color for me. It's Life is Good, and it says outer piece, which is so perfect for summer. They're still a little damp. I had them in the dryer and I took them out so I could show you guys. But this is the Life is Good brand shirt, and it's a woman's. And these guys, I paid $4.79 for it, intending to have it for myself. But again, I just don't think this is a great color for me. So I think we'll sell it. They sell 15 to 18. Because it's a smaller size, it might not sell as fast as if it were a bigger size. But I think we'll just, that's an eBay type thing. We'll get that listed sometime this summer. I asked my niece if she could help me list, and she's not all that interested. So I may try to hire somebody for the summer, or for the rest of the summer. We'll see. I may just try to carve out some time and get it done. Anywho, let us move on. I mean, for all my shows, my Niknax shows, I list every day to try to get those loaded up. But it's just really hard to stay on track. Which is the hard part of this business, because for me, the exciting part is, number one, finding it. That's the most exciting part, going out and thrifting. And the second most favorite fun thing about it is sharing it with you guys here on YouTube. The least favorite thing is, well, actually another really favorite thing is doing live sales. But before that, you have to actually list it. So my least favorite part of this business is listing things, which I think a lot of y'all, if you're resellers, you can relate. But let's move on. Let's show you all the other things I found there. So I found another stained glass piece. Oy, hang on. Oh, Lordy. So this one doesn't have any hanging apparatus. So I'm not quite sure, like, if this is meant to actually insert into a window or just stand on a window pane. I'm not really sure how this is intended to be displayed. It is stained glass, it is tulips, it is pretty, it's leaded. I guess it needs to be this way. So I'm just not sure, like, how, because I don't see any on the back here. I don't see any attachment, like it had been there and is gone. It's just not there at all. So I'm not really clear on that. I paid $7.99 for it. I did pay up on this guy. I think, you know, the solds are 25 to 60-ish. So I don't know where this would go. This one will probably, I'm going to try it over on eBay and start it high and see what happens. At least that's what I think I'm going to do right now. And then I found a couple cookie molds. So we've had these before, the Brown Bag Company. This one is Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy. It says Brown Bag Cookie Art. Okay, and this one's 1986, and this one is 1985. Okay, and you know, they're not worth a ton. I paid $3.19 each on them, and they sell for $8 to $15 each. So I should be able to at least double my money on those, and I'm gonna save those till a little bit closer to the holidays. And those will go up on eBay because people like to do a lot of cookie baking for the holidays. So probably in the fall, I'll get those listed. I've got a bunch of other brown bag cookie molds, so I'll try to list them all around the same time. Then I found a glass whale. Now this is contemporary and it is made in China. All right, I picked it up because it was pretty. So some interesting things of note. In China, they are now getting good at adding the sparkles in. Okay, it used to be stuff you would see out of Italy, which you still see out of Italy, but Chinese glass now also has some sparkles in it. You can find these things at like Home Goods, a lot of the home interior type stores. He's got some, like, you can tell it's not Italian glass from a lot of things. I mean, the bottom, it's got a rough polish, but it doesn't have that smooth where the glass would look just like this. It's not that polished. There's also a lot of really random bubbles. And the eyes on this guy are wonky. Like, he's got, one is bigger than the other. They're in slightly different places. You know, it's just not, the quality just isn't as good as what you get out of Italy. However, what I'm finding in my paperweight sales and stuff is that if you explain that it is Chinese glass, people still like it. It's not going to bring as much money, but I picked it up anyway. So I paid up. I paid $6.39. I think he's probably worth 12 to 15. I wrote down 12 to 18 because you never know. But I looked him up, and he is currently available on Amazon as SPI Home Art Glass Teal Blue Whale. And he sells on Amazon for $38. Okay. So was it worth picking up? Maybe. You know, I'll probably double my money on it, but I don't know. I don't know that I recommend picking up the contemporary things. Now, if you see this at a yard sale for 50 cents, by all means pick it up, or even $1. But I think paying $6 and change is probably way too much. I also picked up a fish that broke as I was scanning it. It slammed against the little checkout thing and shattered, and of course I had scanned it and I paid for it because I broke it. So that one, it was obviously not worth anything, and I can't show you because it's in a million pieces. All right, then I went to one more place and I got two things, neither of which is really anything. I picked up this trinket box. It was still right before my trinket sale that I went out and did this, so I picked it up. I ended up not running him. It is a cat. Cats do generally pretty well. He is made in Thailand. However, the resale on this, the prices are only like $6. So I paid $3.99. I've got 6 to 10 on here. So was it worth picking up? Probably no, but we'll have to see what happens once I list it. And then the other one, similar but different. I picked this up because I have a friend that is really into Harry Potter, and I thought I might gift this to her, and I may. Or I may try to sell it. So this is a golden snitch trinket tray. And again, my head was thinking trinkets. It is Harry Potter branded, from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Warner Brothers. So this is something that somebody would have picked up at a theme park down in Florida. I paid $1.99 for it. There's one that sold for $12. So I would probably call this 8 to 12. So not worth a ton. Oh, and I'm looking over and I see that I missed something. So this one was from the very first place, and I forgot to show it to you. And it's amazing. And I'm glad we're ending here because it's a good one. This is a pottery dish with a crab on it and its own little crab tool and a little slit that the tool goes in. And when I got it, this was taped down, so it was kind of at this angle, which was cool. And the one online, there's one that's sold online, and it says that it's not signed. It is signed, but it is so faint. So you may not be able to see it. You can see that there's a signature here, right? And it even looks like it says 96 down here. Actually, from this angle, it looks like 79, but when I was looking at it before, I thought I saw 96. So it's signed. It's Studio Pottery. I don't know who signed it, which is really sad because it's a stunning piece of work. I mean, clearly someone very good at what they do. The glaze is beautiful on the outside, right? They managed the dripping area. There's no really weird places where it's stuck to the kiln. Like, they just did a really great job. And it's so cool, and it's clear what the dish is meant for, and I love it. So I paid on this one, and it looks like I might have forgotten to even write it in here. That's really funny. Yeah, I've forgotten to put it on my sheet altogether, but I'm pretty sure I paid around $3.99 for it, something to that effect, and it's probably worth upwards of 18 to 24 plus. Again, you know, whatever somebody's willing to pay, but it's just a gorgeous piece of Studio Pottery, and I love that it has the little tool along with it. So it's really cool. So anyway, that was my week. I spent a total of, I have here $76.62, and that unfortunately does not include the crab dish, so I paid probably closer to 80. And the value on it was just over 300. I apparently cut that off too, but I wrote here it was just around 4 times. It was just over 300, so it was just around 4x the amount. So it was a pretty good week, a pretty good day, I should say. I've actually been out thrifting since that day, and like I told you about the Patricia Nash like 10,000 times, I found some cool stuff. Like one that I'm thinking about making a little short from, or a little reel or something. I don't know what you call them, like short video, if I get a chance. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video next week. Please like, please subscribe. We are trying to grow this channel. It is so hard to get to 1,000 people, which is, first goal is 500. Second goal will be 1,000. With 500, I get some more tools in the Creator Studio. And then with 1,000, I can actually start making a little bit of money on my videos. someday we'll get there. So thank you guys for sticking with me. That leaf leather thing was really cool. So thanks for hanging with me and learning about that. And I will be on Niknax on the 20th of July, and probably not before, unless I decide to jump on a Fast Friday freight. We'll have to see. Going to be traveling a bit, and I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to fit it in. So definitely on the 20th, and we will see you all then, but I will see you here next week with another haul video. Bye!